Mandy and I welcome you back to The Chosen's Blended Harmony of the Gospel. We are on day 14, part 3, the death of John the Baptist. The death of John the Baptist. At that time, King Herod Antipas, the tetrarch, heard about it because Jesus' name had become well known. He was perplexed because someone said, John the Baptist has been raised from the dead, and that's why miraculous powers are at work in him. But others said, he's Elijah. Still others said, he's a prophet, like one of the prophets from long ago. When Herod heard of it, he said, John, the one I beheaded, has been raised, and he wanted to see him. For Herod himself had given orders to arrest John and to chain him in prison on account of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, because he had married her. John had been telling Herod, it is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. So Herodias held a grudge against him and wanted to kill him. But she could not, because Herod feared John and protected him, knowing he was a righteous and holy man. When Herod heard him, he would be very perplexed, and yet liked to listen to him. Though Herod wanted to kill John, he feared the crowd, since they regarded John as a prophet. An opportune time came on his birthday, when Herod gave a banquet for his nobles, military commanders, and the leading men of Galilee. When Herodias' own daughter came in and danced, she pleased Herod and his guests. The king said to the girl, ask me whatever you want, and I'll give it to you. He promised her with an oath, whatever you ask me, I will give you, up to half my kingdom. She went out and said to her mother, what should I ask for? John the Baptist's head, she said. At once she hurried to the king and said, I want you to give me John the Baptist's head on a platter immediately. Although the king was deeply distressed, because of his oaths and the guests, he did not want to refuse her. The king immediately sent for an executioner and commanded him to bring John's head. So he went and beheaded him in prison, brought his head on a platter, and gave it to the girl. Then the girl gave it to her mother. When John's disciples heard it, they came and removed his corpse and placed it in a tomb, and went and reported to Jesus. This is really a sad story because John the Baptist was doing the right thing. He was preparing the way for Jesus. He was the forerunner. He was out there preaching. He was baptizing people. He was living meagerly in the desert, eating locusts and honey. He wore very simple clothes made out of camel's hair. He was doing all the right things, and yet he finds himself in jail. And the reason he found himself in jail is because here's King Herod. Here's his brother Philip, who is married to Herodias. King Herod came over here and got Herodias and married her. And so John the Baptist is saying, that's not right. And so he was calling them out publicly. And of course, Herodias didn't like that. So when she had the opportunity, she had him killed. And she used her daughter as a pawn in the story because she danced and pleased the king. Then the king said, I'll give you whatever you want, up to half the kingdom. She could have had a lot of great things, but instead she listened to her mother, and John the Baptist was executed. That is really sad. But that didn't end it, right? That actually fueled the fire and got the disciples and all the followers even more determined to be going out there telling Jesus love and how his grace and everything is for people. And so I just want you to remember that sometimes it feels like you're in prison, maybe for not doing anything wrong. Feel like you're doing all the right things, and yet here you sit. But God can use that to motivate and inspire other people to go on and build the kingdom. So you never know where your story is going to end up, but just trust that God has a plan. So I hope you enjoyed that story today, and come back tomorrow for more of the Gospels, because remember, God's word in your heart is the best way to live. See you tomorrow. You can get your own copy of A Blended Harmony of the Gospels by The Chosen simply by going to thechosengifts.com. There you can find all kinds of wonderful merchandise to help build your faith this year. Be sure to check out their devotionals and their Bible studies. Have a blessed day.